Hey everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an OP new Amon build in Borderlands 4 that actually uses his forge drones, and what's cool about this is we can use them to activate Brrrrserk, and there is only red, giving us a massive increase to overall gun damage, which is actually pretty crazy. 600% bonus cryo damage on top of everything. Now the level cap does open up a ton of new builds. This one's actually really great for mobbing as well because we get all those ice shards that do bounce around, so it takes out enemies really quickly, but this is a very strong Amon build and I can't wait to break it all down for you. And how this works is something I've been theory crafting for a while, because now we can grab My Touch is Death. Whenever Amon deals melee damage, there's a chance to activate kill skills, and There Is Only Red is a major kill skill because every time that we get it, we get 60% bonus damage on top of everything for a maximum of 600 from our Brrrrserk. Now, dealing melee damage is kind of annoying until you figure out that you can use the Blacksmith class mod, because this is going to give us additional forge drones. I don't even have the best roll for this, but this can give you multiple skills here and increase the duration of the forge drone. So you basically have them out all the time. They're going to be shooting at enemies and they deal melee damage, which activates our kill skill there. Not to mention, this is also a kill skill as well, so this can partially restore the forge drone's duration. They last a very long time while using this, and it really does empower There Is Only Red, which did get nerfed. It used to be 9 seconds that it gave you every time that you got a kill, which is so much harder now to maintain, but not anymore because you get instant 10 stacks as soon as you throw out your forge wall. And this is building off of the Amon builds that I've posted in the past, but it is a lot better now. So to start off here, at level 1, our best choice at the beginning is Scorched Kairos. This gives us more magazine size, which is actually really nice, but it also gives us increased ordnance damage, which is massive. Next is the Tail of the Comet. Whenever Amon deals ordnance damage, there's a chance to apply a cryostasis effect that does damage over time. This is really nice because later on it's going to apply and give us more infinite ammo with heavy ordnances on Primal Surge. So this is really nice. Now, our next choice depends if you want a mob. Bullet hail is nice. Our gunshots will have a chance to ricochet as elemental shards that do cryo damage. This is really nice. You do have a good chance of ricocheting, especially if you use a fast firing ordnance. The Wrath of Nature is also nice, giving us increased status effect application chance, which applies to things like Tail of the Comet. And what's good about that is it gives us a higher chance of regaining our ammunition. I also want to mention Battleborn, which will give you 20% extra gun damage when your health is full. Not a massive amount, and actually there's like Rafa gets 25% gun damage increases without having to have his health full, so that is kind of annoying. There is other skills you can take here, but Ancient Ways even for bonus extra cryo damage on top of all that. This can be really nice because we get so much bonus cryo damage, so it'd be either Ancient Ways, Bullet Hail if you like mobbing a lot, or Wrath of Nature. I'm going to go with the Ancient Ways here for the increase of cryo damage by 30% because we do get a massive increase overall cryo damage. Wrath of Nature is really nice though if you want to activate your Tail of the Comet and as well Primal Surge more often. After this, we're going to take a single point into Blackout because this gives our ordnance a chance to critically hit, which is really nice. And then after this, we're going to come over here and take Icy Rage. This is a kill skill so that we can trigger this with just melee damage. This is going to give guns or status effects giving cryo affinity for a duration, which gives you gun damage. We can then take Winter's Kiss. Whenever Amon deals ordnance damage, it consumes a stack of it and spawns an elemental shard, which will do cryo damage in an area of effect. That is an option, but I do think it's better just to grab Primal Surge here. This, whenever we apply a status effect, we get a chance to partially restore our shield and ammo. This makes us really survivable, and it has a 25% chance of occurring and restoring 30% of our ammo. It's actually really good. Now for a capstone, I typically prefer not running a capstone because this increases the cooldown and we want to be able to use firewall as much as possible. This will also increase projectile speed and damage, but one weird thing I noticed with the patch, I don't think it works properly anymore. It says it absorbs enemy projectiles, but it seems like it absorbs your projectiles sometimes. I'm not sure what's happening with it, but it's what you saw me put at the start and then shoot away from it. Typically I used to shoot through it, but it's been working weird and on some weapons it will explode them. So I don't know if there's a change to this, but it does seem to work a little bit weird now. And for our augment, since we're not running a capstone, I like to go Eternal Winter if you want to use the Scourge skill tree a lot. Otherwise, Chironic Thumb here is really nice because this will taunt enemies and pull them in and deal a bit of extra cryo damage in an area of effect. But if you want to use a skill, the Winter's Kiss is better. Now we're going to go into the red skill tree, and there's a few really good options here. We do have a kill skill here, which will give us shield regeneration rate and movement speed. The movement speed is nice. It's 45% extra movement speed when you get full stacks, and you trigger this almost automatically, so this could be a nice choice. I do like Heavy Plate giving us maximum shield capacity, but you could go with this here because I should say it's 27% movement speed, not 45, did the math wrong there. But you can go with 2 stacks of this and 3 into here if you want to get that movement speed boost, and you'll get it quite frequently, although I do think Heavy Plate ends up being the better choice because you get a lot more survivability that way. We're going to take 1 point into Gut Punch here. Whenever we deal melee or ordnance damage, we can apply weakness to the enemy, which gives them less damage dealt and they take more damage. This is something that's really nice because we buff up for our team and we deal melee damage with our forged drones, so it's really easy. After that, you could take Titanium Knuckles. Status effect damage and duration is also kind of nice. There's so many different options here. Like this gives us more skill damage, which can be great on the Scourge skill. And the melee damage does help out too if we want to use things like the Mantra. So I think Titanium Knuckles ends up being a solid choice here, but you could go with like the Impetus and Wield the Storm. And then finally, we're going to come down and Bullet Storm. Whenever we deal a status effect, we gain increased gun damage for a duration. And we apply status effects pretty much non-stop. So after this takes us down to Brrrrserk. Whenever Amon activates his Forge skill, so again, our firewall there, we go into Brrrrserk for a duration. So it lasts for 15 seconds, but we can extend this by the There Is Only Red. This will also give us slow immunity and bonus cryo damage, 30% with guns and melee damage. This is great because we can then take it even further with There Is Only Red. And you can actually watch beside your health bar, you're going to see this icon here go up to 10 stacks. It's actually insane. So it's a kill skill. Whenever Amon damages an enemy while Berserk is active, partially restores Berserk's duration and gives us bonus cryo damage. So we start with 30% bonus cryo, and this gives us 60% per kill. And yeah, we hit that maximum of 600% really fast with this. So it's really nice. After this, we could go with, there's a couple choices. This will give us shield restoration when our shield breaks. You could go Bloodlust too for the lifesteal on top of that. It's not a bad option. You can even grab Brimming Vigor here, which will give you increased health and melee damage when your health is full. I like to take 1 point here because this is going to give us lifesteal, which is good. It's only 3%, but sometimes it's just enough to keep you alive and prevent your shield from going further down. And Rhyme Break, whenever our shield breaks, we get shield restoration, which is great, but cryo damage in a nearby effect and freezes enemies. This takes us to My Touch is Death. Whenever Amon deals melee damage, there's now a chance to activate our kill skills. This is huge, 24% chance, but with how fast the Forge drones fire, you get this max stacks really quickly. This is one of the coolest synergies, and I'm so happy this actually does work out really well in the new DLC. And for the final 5 points, you can go back into this skill tree here. You could go with more critical hit chance in your Ordnance, even Winter's Kiss whenever we get those cryo affinity stacks to consume. I think that going with Dragon's Breath is solid. Whenever we activate our Ordnance, our next gunshot is converted to incendiary damage and staggering the enemies. It's a pretty solid choice because it gives a big boost to our damage, and you can use a few different types of Ordnance with this. We're going to mostly be using heavy Ordnance, but I'm really excited for the next level cap increase because then we can take Crackling Aegis here, which gives us even more Ordnance damage when our shield is full. So this build is going to get even crazier. And as mentioned, our class mod is going to be the Blacksmith. This is not the perfect role because you can get multiple Forge drones on this, but we want to get at least 2 Forge drones. This one has 2 Forge drones and the extended duration on them. We don't care about their damage. They don't really do damage. It's very low and we won't care about that. It's just about activating the kill skill so we get our Berserk to last a little longer. And this will also actually, Berserk will get applied. And also this is a kill skill too, so we actually activate this. This can come with an increase your Forge drone duration, and it basically makes it so they don't go down, which is really nice. There is new class mods, like the Tempest here that came from the DLC. Dealing gun damage creates a storm for 20 seconds. I tried it. I'm sure there's a good build. I'm still experimenting with some of the new gear, but I still think that the Blacksmith works very well on this setup. Previously, I was using like Cyborg or Grenadier. These are great for their skill rolls, but this one's really fun and powerful. You do get more Ordnance damage off using the Cyborg here, but it's entirely up to you. For our shield, Watch for Dinner just still ends up being the best choice. Unfortunately, it's going to give you 25% bonus shock damage, which is quite huge. On top of that, there's also things like the Super Soldier, which are nice. This did get nerfed to not work with heavy ordinances, but that's okay. Cinder Shelly's a fun shield. Some people enjoy it. And there's also like the Fireworks if you want to deal with mobbing, but Watch for Dinner just ends up being best. Next we got for our enhancement, I really like to use the Torg increased damage radius if you're using the new Shalashaska weapon. This is pretty insane with it, but if you're not going to use that, the Jacob's increased bounce pass is going to be one of your best choices here. This is actually a really good one because this also came with the gun stats effect chance and gun damage increase, which is super powerful. Now, heavy ordinances, there is some nice new ones here. You get the Monsoon, the Ichor, which deals both incendiary and corrosive damage. You can get this in a variety of different roles. Now, the damage from this is pretty poor. So yeah, that sucks. There is a lot of new grenades here. I'm still experimenting around, but I've leveled up my rocket socket here, 76k damage. It pretty much is very powerful. I'm also a big fan of like the disc jockeys here. They don't say they have very high DPS, but they do because they bounce around and gain damage per bounce. Even the Atlan gun is okay here. It's not the best. If you can find a honey bunches, that'd be your best bet. You could even use the crit knife on a build like this and go all in your guns, and it actually would work pretty well because that would activate Dragon's Breath. Now for our rep kit, triple bypass typically ends up being the better choice here, just because with triple bypass you're able to get the action skill back quickly, but our action skill doesn't really matter that much, so I'm using this one, which will give us splash damage increases. Now I'd like to get 3 points into Gadgets Ahoy. That works really well. 2 points into Bullets to Spare is good too, and even going with Airstrike is pretty effective too, giving you splash radius and extra damage. So all the Ordnance firmwares work really well here, but even high caliber, because that can give you piercing bullets, is pretty strong. Now for our weapons, there is a lot of really fun ones. I like the Mantra because, again, this deals melee damage, so we can activate our kill skills with this if you didn't want to run the Forge Drones. We also have Shalashaska. This is a new weapon. It's insanely powerful. Shoot 5 times and reload manually. You'll get +5 ricochets, and if you get the Daedalus and Torque with the enhancement that increases torque radius, it's insane how much damage you get. Dark Beast is still going to be one of the best weapons in the game, and this will pierce people, so you don't have to have high caliber, and it's just good. You can also get a elemental version of this, so you can get different swappers. The bod still ends up being one of the best guns, and actually, I don't like using the bod on other characters, but it's okay on Amon. Dullahan shotguns are always going to be a solid choice as well if you want something different. There's new weapons here. I'm still experimenting to find what works well. I've had some people comment that some of them are crazy in this DLC, so expect to see a future video breaking down some of the best weapons in the DLC. But for our specializations, now contamination is really interesting because critical hits will grant increased stats effect application chance, up to 100% extra. This is really nice because that means that we're going to be activating and getting our infinite ammo even more likely. I also like riddle you this for 50% extra gun damage, which we're going to add half of that onto our Ordnance with the full spectrum arsenal. So every gun damage increase, half of it gets added. The cool part about this is our heavy ordnances count as guns, and as rocket launcher or grenade ordinances. So if you get something that increases your damage by 100%, it's actually 150% because it takes both and double dips. It's crazy. I also like to use bare arms if you're going to use the Mantra shotgun, but if you're not, you're going to use the fragmented payload to increase your critical hit chance and damage on your ordinances. Now, when it comes to combat, I really like using any type of rocket launcher here. You can actually see we're doing some pretty stellar damage here. So using a rocket launcher like this can do some pretty nuts damage. And on top of that, we got our There's Only Red activated. And if you want an easy way just to activate There's Only Red, you can just use the Mantra here, which is great because I now have 10 stacks of it, and then if I switch to my Ordnance, the damage there is pretty nuts. So yeah, you just shred through things here. This is an Ultimate Vault Hunter 6 there. Oops. I hate when he does that attack. The Mantra's so great though because this is an easy way for you to activate your kill skills. So if you don't want to run the Forge Drones, you can literally just run this and it's going to do a solid enough job because, yeah, it activates your kill skills quite frequently. You just see right beside my health bar there, we got 10 stacks of the There Is Only Red there. So that is pretty incredible because the damage from this is insane, and then you can swap to some of the other weapons there and take advantage of that. So it is a pretty powerful build. Amon's got a lot of tricks up his sleeves. So in Borderlands 4, this is a very fun build for Amon. I'll be trying out all the different items that got added in the DLC as I get them here. But yeah, Amon did scale nicely, and he's actually going to scale great if we get that level cap increase to 70 or 72. We'll have to wait and see, but hit that subscribe button below if this video is useful, and we'll catch you all in the next one.